One question that often comes up, if everyone in society acted in this selfless way, then that would be pretty impractical. We only need to look at India's golden age under the rule of Emperor Chandragupta, who was guided by Chanakya. Emperor Chandragupta and Chanakya ruled their kingdom on these principles of sacrifice and balance. Today, when India is entering a period of growth, we would do well to remember the fundamentals on which our most prosperous phase was lived. In the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan Shri Krishna dedicates a large portion of his address to Arjuna to understand karma. Karma is at the very heart of Hindu philosophy. But what is this karma truly? And what does it mean for us as individuals as well as society as a whole? That is what we will be discussing in today's video. Yajnarthat karmano nyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangaf samachara. The world is bound by actions or karma, except that which is performed for the sake of sacrifice. Therefore, O Arjuna, perform action for the sake of sacrifice alone, free from all attachments. The world is bound by actions. The world is bound by karma. Why? To understand this, we need to understand what karma is. We have a simplistic understanding that karma is only the circumstances that we encounter in our life. But karma is much more than that. In the Hindu system, karma is accumulated across multiple lifetimes and is known as sanchita karma, which is the total bank of karma from all of our lifetimes. Then in this lifetime, we take an extract of that total bank. We take a withdrawal from that total bank and come to earth. That withdrawal is known as prarabdha karma, which determines the circumstances, the relationships, the situations, the traits that we encounter in this lifetime, and the actions that we undertake in this lifetime are called agamya or kriyaman karma. Now, what happens to this new karma that we create in our lifetime? It goes back into the bank of sanchita karma. So you can see that there's a cycle of karma that already exists, some that we extract in this lifetime, and new karma that we create. But how do we break that cycle? This is where karma yoga comes into place. And Bhagwan uses the concept of sacrifice, which in the Hindu system we know as Yagya. Now, Yagya is not just an empty word, but a vivid concept that is brought to life. Typically, Yagya involves a fire ceremony where a fire is kindled, the essential nature of the deity is invited into the fire, and we make offerings into this fire. And as we make each offering, we chant the phrase idam namama. So, for example, if the Yagya is dedicated to Bhagwan Shri Krishna, we'll say the phrase Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu Idam Krishnaya Idam Namama. When we say idam namama, we release the offering into the fire. Now, what does idam namama mean? It means this offering that I am making is not mine. It is dedicated to Bhagwan Shri Krishna or whoever is the presiding deity of that yagya. When we say this is not mine, it's not just the offering, but the very body, the identity that we pour into this fire. This is the deep philosophical meaning of yagya. And Bhagwan recommends this inner attitude of sacrificing the ego, not just in the moment of performing a yagya, but in the moment of performing all actions. Why? Because the world is bound by actions, but it is released by sacrifice. So that karma, which may have previously bound us, when performed with the spirit of selfless sacrifice, now becomes the means of our liberation. Karma becomes karma yoga, uniting with our highest self. Now, one question that often comes up in people's mind, if everyone in society acted in this selfless way, then that would be pretty impractical, wouldn't it? The number one criticism that people have about Hindu Shastra is it's not really practical. Maintaining one's ego is truly the least practical thing, because that's what causes us to come back time after time, lifetime after lifetime, and stay in the cycle of karma. But what does it mean for society? In the Vedas, there's a large section dedicated to both karma and yagya, action and sacrifice. In fact, the entire section is called karma kanda. And how this karma kanda works is what Bhagwan indicates in the next few verses. This explanation of the deeper meaning of Yagya is absolutely beautiful. At the time of creation, the Creator created mankind with sacrifice and said, by this sacrifice you will prosper. So let sacrifice be the root of fulfilling all desires. With sacrifice, mankind nourishes the divine and natural energies. And those divine natural energies in turn nourish man. So for example, if we farm the land and get our food, then we offer some of that food back to the land so that the land may be fertilized. And the various organisms and animals that have contributed to our survival may also be able to survive. Thus, nourishing one another, man will be able to attain the highest good. So in this concept of Yagya, in this concept of sacrifice is inbuilt the mechanism of sustaining a natural way of life where humans and the natural environment is nourished. Furthermore, Bhagwan goes on to say that the divine natural energies that are nourished by this sacrifice will give humans their desired objects. In fact, one who enjoys the objects given by the divine natural energies without offering anything in return is truly a thief. So if we take from the natural environment and don't give anything back, we are stealing. Not just from the environment, we are stealing from other organisms and other human beings who can't enjoy it because we are extracting without replenishing. Bhagwan finally goes on to say that the righteous, the one who eat the remnants of this sacrifice, i.e. ones who consume only after they have given, are freed from all sins because they are living in alignment with karma yoga as described by Bhagwan. But those sinful ones who consume only for their own sake truly eat only sin. If we take without replenishing, we are engaged in sin. Sin not because we're sinning against the rules of God or dogma that was laid down. Sin simply because in the short term we may survive. In the long term we are sowing the seeds of our own downfall. But is there really a time where these principles have been lived? Looking around the world and seeing scenes of inequality and environmental degradation. When did this time exist? And could any country truly have been prosperous by living in this way? These are very natural questions. And if we want to see an answer, we only need to look at India's golden age under the rule of Emperor Chandragupta, who was guided by Chanakya. Emperor Chandragupta and Chanakya ruled their kingdom on these principles of sacrifice and balance. There's a famous incident where Chanakya imprisoned a number of traders for tax avoidance. Now Chandragupta heard of this and didn't know the facts, but got very angry and went to Chanakya asking for an explanation. Chanakya's explanation is truly eye-opening. He said to the young emperor, "Remember Chandragupta, water from the ocean turns into vapor. That vapor seeds the clouds. Those clouds then produce rain that falls onto the earth and through the natural channels of rivers feeds the ocean again. Society is that ocean and wealth is that water. The contribution of taxes that citizens make by sacrificing a portion of their own wealth is the vapor that goes up and seeds the clouds. And a responsible government spending that money is the rain that then goes back and nourishes the society. If citizens don't pay taxes or if the government doesn't spend that money wisely, then just like the cycle of water is interrupted and creates floods and havoc, so too is there havoc in society. So the principle of sacrifice is inbuilt into a stable and prosperous society. Today, when India is entering a period of growth, we would do well to remember the fundamentals on which our most prosperous phase was lived. A period not just of political stability, but also of great economic prosperity, of cultural growth and personal enlightenment. How can we achieve such maximum results in all aspects of our personal and social life? Well, this question is answered in our next video. So do join us. And before you go, this entire project is sustained by the principle of sacrifice, sacrificing our time to record this and share with you. So if I could ask you to sacrifice just a moment to subscribe to our channel and then share it with your friends and family, we can keep this cycle moving and this knowledge being shared with more and more people. My name is Dhumatkar. Thank you for joining us for this video, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. Namaste.